there are men that feel women try to run them. So black men feel like the black woman is trying to run them. Mm-hmm. And then you got black women that feel like for men to lead, they have to control and dictate to them.
Okay.
How do you feel about that?
Well, I can definitely answer this. It's a problem. It's definitely a problem, and I think the problem comes with a misunderstanding because generally when you go into the relationship, especially with black folks, we don't ever set parameters. We don't ever sit down and talk about the direction that you want your relationship to go. We assume a lot in a relationship. And that's generally where a lot of issues come in at, is that you're taking for granted that this person was a person before they met you. And they have their own ideas, they have their own beliefs, they have their own family structures and stuff. And they come into the relationship with that, and instead of sitting back and putting everything out on the table, it's just a lot of assumptions. And then when an issue comes up, we get barked at or we're barking at. You see what I'm saying? And that's a problem in a relationship. We shouldn't be to that point. But the controlling aspect in a relationship, I think, really comes from fear. You have a lot of fear and mistrust. Fear and mistrust in the direction that the relationship is going into. It's not a lot of faith in there. We have a lot of statistics that can point to how, relationships end. You know what I mean? I think the statistic right now is, I think 85% of relationships or of marriages the divorce rate is initiated by women. 85%. 85% of black marriages in a divorce are initiated by women.
I think it's because
Come on with it. Come on, Miss.
And to your point, no, seriously, I agree with what you're saying as far as like no communication. Like there is no communication on what the expectation of it is.
Absolutely.
And I think that that generally comes from the fact that we are not taught, because to have that conversation, like, we as a culture probably kind of shunned away over the years of talking about what we expect out of something. Like when we do something, you know what I'm saying? The only thing we know to expect things from is school. Like, people don't talk about it as far as relationships. They don't talk about it as far as like what your family expectation is and stuff. A lot of times it's not even like a projected path forward for like your family and for your children and stuff. And I think that the reason why women maybe throw in the towel is because usually the man can just walk, like he can start something else outside of there and still like y'all are way better chameleons than women are, as far as being able. No, I'm talking about as far as being able to like go and have a whole nother lifestyle or something like that or whatever, another life, and come back home and like it's good. Women, we can't hide it like that. I think.
I agree wholeheartedly.
Because of emotions.
Yeah, so I just feel like it's easier for men to leave the situation spiritually and still be there physically than it is for a woman. So the woman is like all or nothing, and then we just go and fall out at the courthouse and file papers. I'm just saying.
Jesus.
Well, but then it goes right back to what I'm saying. We have a lot of distrust. You know what I mean? We learned a lot of things the wrong way.
And we not taught to trust.
No, we're not.
Like, we wasn't taught to, like, have faith in a man or have faith in a woman like that or whatever. You just kind of going off of however your mama treated you or however your daddy treated you. Okay. Is how you look at your mate a lot of times.
So let me ask this. If we smart enough to know that we don't have that type of knowledge and education, then what are we doing to get it? What are we doing for the solution?
Well, that's hard.
Well, here's the thing. The reason why I brought that up, I really didn't ask that for the answer. The reason why I brought that up,
it's rhetorical.
The reason why I brought that up is because I don't think people try to fix that problem. I've only had one girl actually admit to me that she needs therapy because of her past. And we're just going to talk about relationships right now. We ain't even going to dive into the whole how she was brought up and all that. But she just said she need therapy for that because, you know, when you go through life and you've experienced in certain things, like you just said, that's naturally how you learn. That was your education. We are all a sum of what we went through.
Truly.
Yeah. So if you know that, then why people are not trying to seek help? You know, people are so embarrassed to ask for $1, more or less ask for, you know, help me with my mentality.
Right.
Because when we was little and we used to go over somebody's house or something, our mama told us even though we was starving and we couldn't say we was hungry. And even, you know what I'm saying, like you couldn't ask for nothing and all of that. Just culturally we were taught to deny ourselves of our true feelings and wants. And it just and it went on. Like, you know, that's just the way it is. I'm not saying that it's something that can be reversed, but at the end of the day, it truly has to be acknowledged before it can even be, you know, something be done about it.
And a lot of us grew up with not going to therapy. We grew up going to church.
Yeah. So if it didn't come out of Revelations or Leviticus, then it didn't happen. I'm just, you know, there was no, if no solution didn't come out of them areas, then it just wasn't one. Like, you know, go ahead and keep washing your face. Get up tomorrow and do it again. That's just
Matthew.
Baby, yes.
Well, like I said, we can list off all of our problems and what we don't know and how, you know, this and that, how it affected us, but what's the solution?
I think that this is the part of a solution. This is, you know, just to be able to have this type of candid conversation because it doesn't happen a lot. Like, you know, when you do have things where it's battle of the sexes, it's always stuff like, well, you know, like kind of like carnal issues and stuff or whatever, but you don't get really down to the root of just the character themselves or just like our upbringing and stuff, just to be, you know, to be truthful of it. We put our faults out, you put your faults out, or wherever we think that it come from, how did it stem, and go from there. Like if you don't, And
you know what I noticed too? I noticed a lot of people try to compare, you know, try to compare what I went through, what you went through, you know, and all that.
Right.
And, you know.
Just opposing.
Yeah, it's just like, listen, we all been through shit.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, some shit was green, some shit was blue, some shit was brown.
You know,
it was stinking shit though.
Right.
Know
all
that.
been through shit. Let's try to help each other. Let's try to understand and let's try to know that we both got room to grow. We both, you know, don't know everything. A lot of things I run into, people just think they know everything, and it's like we're different, you know. That may have helped you, but that may not have helped me, you know.
Right. Yeah.
So, you know, it's crazy.
No, I mean you're right. I mean, not to cut you off, babe, but you know, I always say that everybody has a different threshold of pain, right? You know what I mean? Everybody has what may irritate, which, oh my Jesus, my neighbor really rubs my wife the wrong way. Jesus Christ. And it's in the beginning.
That's El Camino that's parked outside.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? But you know, it didn't bother me in the beginning because it was something that I was used to. You know what I mean? This was every day on my block. You know what I mean? And I took notice that was going to be an issue with, you know what I'm saying, the wife's father when he was, you know, when he was saying, look over there, look at that, they over there on the grass. And I'm like, that's their grass. Why are you mad about what they're doing on their grass? But then, you know, well, that's not across the street from me. But now it is across the street from me.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So it takes me a minute to get there, or it takes people a minute to get there, but they have to experience it. And that's the whole thing. You know, we have different experiences, and you can't move a person. You can't fast forward a person up to valuing something that they don't value.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And just be honest about that. Like, baby, that's just not important to me right now. And you just got to understand that.
You got to respect it.
Just respect it. You know what I mean? Then move on.
I've been single for some time now, and one of the reasons that I've been single is because I run into a lot of women that,
ladies, he's single.
that like literally I've gotten into arguments with women over just one thing we disagreed on.
Just a one.
Just one. You know, and that was just
Throw the whole man away.
Listen, that was just amazing to me because, you know, I'm a relationship guy. I like being in a relationship.
Right.
Like they missed out on so much being so I'm gonna think of the right word.
No, just use the wrong one.
Being so ignorant. You know what I'm saying? Being so ignorant.
Right.
You know, like you're not going to agree with everybody on everything, and that should be okay. That's so basic maturity 101.
Yeah.
You know, you're not gonna agree with everybody, so if you don't agree, that's cool. I understand. We grew up differently. We see things differently. Nothing wrong with that.
Right.
You know,
no, it's pretty retarded.